Hey everyone, welcome to episode 8 of Under Seasoned, and we are looking awesomely ugly today.
What's the deal here? What do we got? We're twins.
So this is our first bit of merch mail, mate. This is from our good mate Brad from the Awesome Ugly Barbecue Company. We look like the Mighty Fox.
We do. I've got to say, it's a bit big on me.
Mate, you're an XL and I'm rocking a medium. I squeezed into a medium, bro. How good's that?
I like this sizing.
Yeah.
Does well. Flatters me.
Ice hockey jerseys for the win. Now, there's a bit of a story behind these. So Brad's daughter at Toowoomba earlier this year, she's 11 years old. She took out one of the SCA categories and won herself a golden ticket to go to the World Championships. So this was a fundraiser.
So they made some merch to raise some money to get it to America?
They did. They raised some money. They didn't get enough to get to America, so she spent it all on a brand new Weber GA to get better at barbecue. It's fucking cool.
Good on her. Well done. And good on those people that donated some money.
Yeah, bloody oath. Hope you rock the jersey like we do, though.
Yeah, wearing it proud. Okay, let's get into the fuck up of the week. It's always fun. I don't know if we've got too many this week, but here's the first one.
I sent you this. Now, the best part about this is in the comments it said, "Oh, I love watching British woodworking videos."
I did say that one. I feel like this is what it would look like if you got a cheese knife and tried to carve something off a telegraph pole.
It does look like a bit of treated pine there, that's for sure. It's not really pulled beef, it's splintered beef.
I did like the comments that said, "Is this the method where you put it on at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and then go on holidays?"
The British spent early years raiding the world of spice, and this is what they produce.
Rich Green said, "Didn't know you could get dry mouth from watching a video."
I'm feeling it, bro. I'm feeling it, Richie.
All right, let's keep moving on. This is another fail, and I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit on this one.
Oh, we know this guy. It's not Boomer.
It's not Boomer. It is Mel.
He's fucking sorted it out with a spoon.
So if you don't know, this is Mel from Dark Side of the Grill, standing around watching other people work. And he's decided at some point in this video that he's going to help out by using a spoon.
Mate, if his cigar was any longer, he would have just lit it on the flames and just let him carry on.
And that's about as much work as I think he did all weekend.
On your Mel.
Okay, let's move on to the photos of the week. So this is where we find a couple of photos we've seen on the internet. We usually share these with each other through the week. This one caught my eye.
I like it. Bit of a different take on a charcuterie board. You got all the things covered there.
So I don't understand it, but apparently he says it's technically correct charcuterie. I don't know what he means by technically correct, but it's in some sort of format that makes sense, and I don't know what that is. So if you do know, let us know in the comments, but this is a technically correct charcuterie. That's what he calls it. So it's got pastrami belly, salami, pepperoni, Italian sausage, bacon, sunny side eggs, truffle cheddar, brie. I'm a big fan, and someone did leave this in the comments, so I'm stealing it, but someone did say, "I really like those pepperoni nipples."
It looks like when you were younger and you had a diabetic mate and they used to eat the same thing every night. They were usually a fussy eater. This looks like the adult version of a fussy eater's dinner.
Well, I could fussy eat every night of the week if it looked like this.
I'd fussy eat the shit out of that.
I think he died about 22, though. Okay, next one. What's the story behind this one?
Yeah, so this was a photo my cousin took a few years ago. If you don't know by now, I'm originally from Tassie, and this is one of our native Tassie scallops, which he caught himself, and that's an Aussie 20-cent piece down the bottom there. So that scallop is probably the size of a McDonald's burger right there. When these things are in season, you usually catch them in, shoulder-deep water through the channel. Yeah, we leave the roe on our scallops too because that's the best part.
You know what? People have said that so many times that I do eat it with the roe on, but if I had my choice, I would take it off.
Well, you probably don't need the roe in this circumstance because it's a giant. It's a scallop fillet.
It's a monster.
Yeah.
Tassie. This is another one I found. So there's a little bit of context to this, but not a lot. But apparently this guy is on the front line of the war in Ukraine.
Wow.
It's a pig, by the way, so it's a hog. But he's decided to take a break from the war and cook himself up a pretty mean-looking feast.
That's good. Even on the front line when things might not be looking so good, he's decided to turn things around and just enjoy the simple things in life.
Yeah, and it's a pretty tough time over there. So, shout out to all those sort of guys. But his name's Pitmaster for Ukraine. So great to see some positivity over there.
Stay strong.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, a platter comp. It wasn't that long ago that we featured a platter comp done by Full Throttle Barbecue. It was Mick Terrell's idea. Now, whether they've copied it or not is irrelevant because I think this sort of thing has a lot of legs in the future and I think you're going to see it at a lot of places. But there was a platter comp at the Cully's Smoke and Spice Festival in New Zealand and some of the entries, again, are spectacular.
Yeah, I'm really excited that this is becoming a thing. Oh, look how meticulous Mike Cook is there.
So the one on the left is by the Four Saucemen and the one on the right is by a team called the Cook Cartel. You know these guys pretty well?
I do. I know them quite well. We talk a lot. But, yeah, these guys ended up taking it out with that platter and you probably get a pat on the back just for manhandling that thing. I mean, even just that serving board alone, that's probably a solid piece of macrocarpa. Well done, Mikey.
So I'm not sure how they judged it, but I do know that it looks to be the rule is, you got to be able to carry it. But they're pushing the limits of that, aren't they?
They certainly are. I mean, you've got tight calves by the end of that.
So that was another spectacular looking entry. That's all the things.
It is. It's got some really good looking butcher's paper on there too, mate. I know a bloke that might have played a part in that.
Is that?
I drew that.
Drew what, the background?
Yeah, the butcher's paper was a collaboration between myself, Mitre 10 and the New Zealand Barbecue Alliance. And,
looks cool.
Yeah, we printed 1,000 rolls. So technically there's 30 kilometres of my artwork in New Zealand.
Wow, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
I love it.
Well, it does do a good job of highlighting what amazing barbecues on this platter. This was sent to us by Jared McDonald, who was one of the judges, and he got spoiled because that's some sensational looking barbecue.
There's a good bit of venison there too. The Kiwis love their wild game.
And this was the winning dish, which I think you pointed out before.
Cook Cartel family team, Steve, Mike and Brian Cook.
Yeah, some good-looking barbecue, some lamb ribs there. I love lamb ribs.
Yeah, they're juicy lamb ribs too. And look at this New Zealand pork, mate. That is a fucking Mars bar on a bone. Those US pork ribs. Oh, it's just so good.
And I'm a big fan of these competitions in the future. Don't get me wrong, KCBS and ABA, it all has its place. But this is just something different. I'd hate to think what one of these platters would cost to put together. So I don't really think it's for financial reward that they're doing these competitions, but it really does showcase the skill of the pitmaster to be able to put so much together at one time.
Yeah, that's always the challenge, and especially in a commercial environment, is having everything done to the right cooking doneness at the same time, and then you've got to get it on a platter, assembled, then to the judges while it's still at optimum tasting time. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm hungry again.
Okay, videos of the week. We have a world exclusive.
We do.
And it's good.
This was sent to me in my DMs for approval, and my reply was, fucking send it.
So chances are he might release this before we get to show it, but we are watching it as we record before anyone has seen it, right?
Exactly.
So we did see this guy earlier in the episode, helping to solve a helping with a spoon to solve a fat fire. So this is Mel
Schmiller Jr. from Dark Side of the Grill.
I'm glad you pronounced that, not me. Okay, let's get into it and watch it.
Too much, bro. So this is from Mel's new steak rub called Cowcaine. I actually drew that label for him, and he's very excited. I reckon it's going to be a game changer, man. Like, he's just decided I'm just channeling my eastbound and down vibes, and I'm fucking sending it.
And I feel like he's the only one in barbecue that could pull that off.
I think so.
So what did he think? He thought he went too far. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, he asked me if I thought he'd gone too far, if he'd overstepped the line, but no, I think he's nailed it. He's given enough to leave the... You know, you can tell your own story. There's still enough left for the imagination. And if it's anything like all these other products, it's going to be an absolute feast for the senses.
Yeah, I love his hot sauce. I'm such a fan of his hot sauce.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a cupboard full of hot sauces and you very rarely get to the bottom of them. but I've been through bottles of his and they're all empty.
So good.
Love what he's done. I think it's creative. You've got to be a real Karen to, it's a drug reference or whatever, but, I think what he's done is creative and it's fun and only he could pull it off.
That's it. And I think the world is starting to heal and wokeness is dying off.
A little bit of it. Well, we can't go too far the other way too either, but...
No, it's a family show.
Okay, let's move on.
These are eggs that are raw, put into a cold smoker for 16 to 24 hours. The smoke seeps through the shell of the egg and into the yolk. So there's some science behind it, how they turn it upside down and allows an air pocket for the smoke to come up through the egg. So we're about to eat them for dinner. And I want to do a little review and a little bit of advertisement for them because they're an amazing little country town and seriously smoked eggs. Have a look at that.
I've never seen this before.
No, I immediately thought that they were going to be hard-boiled.
Adds 6 months to the expiry date. So here's the egg here. You wouldn't tell any different. It's just got little burn marks and it smells like smoke. The inside, you wouldn't have any idea either.
Bit of a giveaway.
If you want the perfect egg, just put the lid on. Don't worry about flipping them and risking breaking the yolk.
That's cheap.
Just chuck the lid on and they cook so perfect. All right, let's separate them. So this is a normal one. This is a smoked one. All right? Let's go this. I'd say the yolk's got the most.
Not much of a review, mate.
Let's get to that, right? Because I watched this before. He does this whole thing on the eggs and how it's all done is amazing to me. The fact that it's got 6 months shelf life, still cracks like an egg, cooks like an egg, could have a smoky flavour to it. But he goes through, what do we watch, 2 minutes of that video? He doesn't even say if it's any good or not.
That's it. And he didn't crack his egg on a flat surface either, so he's clearly an amateur.
But I will say it's something different and unique. Like, it'd be cool if the egg had a bit of a smoky flavour to it.
Yeah, I'm really keen to try it. I've done eggs in the smoker and they end up basically just as hard-boiled eggs, which when he cracks the egg in the pan, that's where I was surprised that they've cold smoked them and they've remained as raw eggs, but taken on the smoke flavour.
Yeah, so I think it's something I really want to try. I'm annoyed that he hasn't said if it's any bloody good or not because now we've got to try it without knowing. But hey, if it adds 6 months to a shelf life of eggs and gives it a smoky flavour, I'm in.
That's it. Eggs don't last that long around my place, though.
So we've got some news, and you sent me this one. Boom.
Boom. So, yes, this is myself and my wife's uncle, Scotty, at the local Foster Bowls Club. We went out for the Thursday meat raffles for my mother-in-law's birthday, and we fucking cleaned up. I think between Scotty and I, we spent $40 on tickets, and that was all the goodness we took home. So we've got T-bones, we've got some silver sides, I got lamb chops, a couple of chooks, pork chops, there's rump steak there. And yeah, we were the envy of most of the pensioners there, mate.
So what we're looking at is a table full of meat. Do you know if this is an Australian thing, meat raffles?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an Australian and a Kiwi thing. More so, I guess, New South Wales and Queensland, because we do have a big club culture up here with RSLs, surf clubs, that sort of thing. And yeah, Thursday, Friday nights is usually the night to try your luck with some meat raffles. It's usually the proceeds of the revenue raised will go to a charity, and the meat's usually donated by the local butcher. So
yeah, well, just to explain to people who aren't familiar with this, clubs are like a kind of like a casino, and there's a lot of them in Australia, and they've got a lot of poker machines, and it's kind of like a social hangout. So if you don't gamble, it's quite good value. The beers are cheap, food's cheap, but they do these things called meat raffles where you chip in $10, $20, get a raffle ticket, but you win meat. That's wild.
Yeah, and it's pretty good meat too. Like, I smoked those chooks up. We ate chicken for days, and the lamb chops were amazing too. But these T-bones were Scotty's. He didn't share them. They had some pretty good marbling through them, but yeah.
Oh, he took the best cuts, did he?
Yeah.
Scotty.
Yeah, so when your number gets called, if you're lucky enough, you walk up to the bench and you get to pick what cut you want out of the fridge. And yeah, sometimes it'll just be one big tray, but the one we go to in Foster, it's great. There was probably 25 meat trays.
I've seen a lot, and the quality has got really shitty over time, but that looks like some quality T-bones there.
I was impressed, yeah.
All right, well done. Mailbox. I like a bit of mail. This one was sent to us by Stretch. Now, do you remember a couple of episodes ago, we did a video where there was a hog, flames were coming out of its mouth like a dragon, and we showed a video of a guy called Stretch saying, rise, and the pig was rising, right? Ironically, if you go back and have a look at that video, he had to say it twice because I think the guy whose cue was to make it rise just was in another world.
He had one fucking job.
Say rise twice, and the guy's like, oh shit, that's my job, I've got to make the pig lift. But Stretch has sent us some videos of what happened before and after, and it's just as good.
So good.
This is how the pig entered the area that we saw in the video. So let's have a watch.
This pig's living its best life after it's dead.
So it flies in on a high rope, then it does the fire breathing, and once it's all done, if this pig isn't humiliated enough, it ends up on a stripper pole.
Oh, dear.
Look at all the money below it. And that gets paraded around the festival.
Have they tasted this pig yet? Has it been judged? Or is it all just spectacle?
I don't know.
Because it's not going to be real good if it's still got to get carved and served.
I don't know I really hope they won. They did they put the effort in.
Yeah. Do you reckon that how it came in, you could still call it a flying fox?
No. She's a flying pig.
Insert flying pig joke here.
Yeah. Let's keep moving. All right, we've got some. We have some other mail. We've got some gifts. Remember we talked about Lanes did a gift box set with the Alpha Blokes. So the Alpha Blokes have a cool podcast. The boys are killing it in Australia. Everyone's wearing a bloody Alpha Blokes shirt around. They're kind of meat stock coming to Toowoomba.
Yes.
So that's cool. But have a look at that.
Did that get dropped off by Armour Guard, mate? Because this is some hot property and you can't get these anymore, right?
We've got a little handwritten love letter. We've got some stickers, and we got put that there for the rest of the episode. We've got a couple of rubs.
So I've got red dirt, great on pork and chicken.
Great on beef and lamb.
Daddy's dust.
Daddy's dust. All right, well done to the boys. I hear they're going to work on some other flavours as well. So pretty cool collab. Comes in a really cool box. I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's well presented. They've got a good team behind them, that's for sure.
Yeah, well done. All right, Mancaves.
Yes.
I picked this one for you. So I saw this one, and I think it's done the rounds before. I think it's gone viral, but we're going to run through it anyway. It doesn't look like much from the outside. We always say that.
But what's on the inside that counts.
All right, let's have a look at the inside.
Oh, that's my heaven. That's an upscaled version of my art studio right there. Skateboard art. These ones are framed here. That's a that looks like an original Mike Vallely piece there. Those skateboards, if they're originals, they hold a lot of value. Mate, I'm all about that.
I tried to find out a bit more about this place, but I couldn't. There's some sort of potentially...
Hey, look. That's the same as the one behind me.
Is it?
Did we just become best friends?
We need to find out who this guy is.
Yeah.
Vision Skateboards. I feel like at some point he had to have had something to do with Vision Skateboards to have this much stuff.
You would think so. Otherwise, he's got a very large trust fund. But then, I mean, the amount of Grey Goose vodka on there implies that he's balling.
He is. He's definitely balling. The other thing he's got too is when I was a kid, my dad bought me and my brother a remote-controlled car each. And if you have a look at that shot there is the Hornet and the Frogger.
The Grasshopper, my cousin who caught that scallop, he was an only child. He had all the cool shit. He had a grasshopper.
He had a grasshopper. Grasshoppers were good. I think grasshoppers were number one, Froggers were number two, Hornets were last. I don't know why. I always had the shits that my brother got the Frogger. And you know what? When I went to Japan, I went to the, is it Tamaya factory to see like they've got like a showroom. But this guy's got all the cool things.
He does.
A couple of Mustangs, skateboards,
big F truck,
remote control cars, pinball machines,
Pac-Man.
Anyway, look, that's
a
nice little sanctuary.
They're barbecuing, mate. We need one of those for the set.
They are too. They're barbecue skateboards.
It's a Schmidt stick. That's what it says. We need to Google that, Schmidt sticks. And if not, I'll just fucking bootleg it and make our own version.
And we'll hang it on the wall.
Yes.
Right.
And we'll sell them.
So pretty cool, eh?
Under Seasoned skateboards for all you over-the-hill kooks.
I feel like if I try to get it back on a skateboard these days, you know what? I lie. I did. I want to say maybe 6 years ago, my kids had a skateboard and I jumped on it and...
I've only just recovered from my Achilles tendon rehab, mate, so I can run without pain from a skateboarding injury.
Too old for that
From
shit.
that skateboard up behind me.
That's the one that got you?
Yeah, my daughter fell off her bike. We're on the netball courts teaching her how to ride without training wheels, and she fell off, so I had to skate to her real quick. And my push foot, I went way too hard and just felt something go pop. And it was just, a chronic Achilles injury that I never attended to. So, yeah, it's all fixed now. So, being over 40 is great.
Skateboard days are behind you. All right, music.
This is new.
We've never done any music, right?
No.
And this is a bit weird for me because it's country music. And I've never, ever in my entire life been into country music, right? But when we did Meatstock Toowoomba, it's kind of like the country of Australia. We had to book country music, right? So I started to get into it. And this is a song by an artist called Redferrin. It hasn't been released yet. It's like something that he played at a concert and someone's got up there with a phone, they've recorded it and they've put it online.
Are we going to get in trouble for this?
Maybe. I love the mullet.
I'm trying, bro. Got some pipes, bro.
He does. So his name's Redferrin. He's a mullet-wearing country boy. He's coming to Meatstock. He's coming to Australia. He's playing a heap of gigs around Australia. And he's cool. I like him. He's got the vibe.
He does.
He's big into Jack Daniels too.
Oh, look out.
He does a lot of his film clips at the Jack Daniels factory.
Amazing.
Yeah, I like him. All right, bit of artwork.
Oh, look out. I'm nervous. What have I sent you this week?
Boom.
Oh, here we go. This one's for Googsy. So Googsy lives down in the Mornington Peninsula, down in Victoria, just outside of Melbourne. He's a super keen barbecuer. Mad Mullet's his catering company. He does merch. His motto is cooking on your clothes. Basically, that's what he thinks merch is. It's cooking on your clothes. And here I've depicted him doing donuts in his Falcon, which is a classic Aussie V8 motor, quite a collector's item if you're into that sort of thing. Yeah, he's rocking the Oklahoma Joe smoker, loves his Bundaberg rum, B&B charcoal, but yeah, he does all sorts. He does master classes, he does a lot of ABA judging, so he gets a real feel for, what flavours guys are working with at the moment. And he does a lot of catering. He's a chef by trade, so he likes to include a bit of culinary science behind simple backyard barbecue.
Awesome job.
Sick, man.
Okay, let's move on. Featured tattoos. I've got one. Do you know this guy?
No, I don't.
Adam Richman. He's from Man vs. Food. Do you remember that show where he used to travel around?
I know the guy getting tattooed. Yeah, I'm looking at the tattoo. I'm like, what, you just think I know every fucking tattoo artist? No. I watched some of his stuff the other night. He's mad into pizza again. He's doing pizza shows on YouTube. I'm fucking real happy about it.
Yeah, so he was doing Man vs. Food, which is where I fell in love with him. Actually, on a lot of holidays, I'd follow the itinerary of places that he went to because I was that impressed with the places he went. He found all those like out of the way type of places that were doing cool food, and he'd always end up with the food challenge. But what happened before the food challenge was a whole heap of cool places that he went to. So he's really, really cool. He's been out of it for a little while, I want to say, and I'm not sure why. But
because Jay Webby's out now. No one can beat Jay Webby.
Yeah, well, I feel like you can only eat like that for a certain amount of time too.
Yeah.
But he's got a new show on YouTube, and I can't remember what YouTube it's on, but he seems to be back in the forefront, and you can watch a lot of his new content on YouTube.
Yeah, I like it. His content's great. He's just relatable. So
he's decided to make some tattoos permanent on him that are meaningful, and one of them I think was written on a birthday card that was left to him by his father, who I'm assuming has since passed. So he's got that tattooed on himself, and he also got a saying which means to dare is to do. And I think that's written in Latin.
That's going to creep up his arm.
That's right. Next thing you know, you got a whole armful of tattoos. But I like the fact that you put things that are meaningful to you. You know, as a tattoo artist, you probably don't like doing these sorts of things.
Bro, these are fucking stressful because it's like, yeah, so that's my dad's handwriting. Don't fuck it up. It's like, okay.
But I like the fact that you can just look at yourself and remind yourself of something that's important to you. Okay, Artist Spotlight. This is where you pick out somebody who's done a great job or doing a great job in the art community. Maybe sometimes doesn't get enough love for what they do, but tell me about this guy.
So this is one of my all-time favourite artists, Mike Giant. Well, he's based all over the US now. He's currently in Dayton, Ohio, where he's gotten back into working with tattoos, which I discovered him in about 2008 when I was living in the UK. He does a lot of stuff where he draws really simple black and white pictures of women and then covers them in tattoos. And I found a T-shirt, and the two women on the T-shirt were covered in all the punk bands I'm into, the Misfits, Black Flag, Ramones, all that sort of thing. And this T-shirt, I wore it to the absolute death. But yeah, social media became a thing. I got to access a lot more of Mike Giant's work. And all this here, this is all hand-drawn with Sharpie pens. When he draws, he's usually got an old gym sock over his hand so that he's not smudging as he's drawing. Does a lot of it old school on the light boxes and that sort of thing. I do believe he is colourblind too. So that's why he rocks a lot of black and white, but it's just so sharp and crisp. And when you see a Mike Giant piece, you're like, that's Mike.
Yeah, I do love the simplicity of it, but it's still detailed at the same time, if that makes sense.
It is, and he mixes it up a lot. He tattoos, he illustrates, and he's also a really well-respected player in the graffiti scene from back in the day, back in the 90s, that sort of thing. He's an old-school skateboarder. He's worked with a lot of brands and helped build them up over the years, and yeah, he's just an artist in its purest form. Like, he still lives in this studio.
Cool. And he invites other artists to come along, or?
Yeah, so what he does is every Wednesday night he hosts an art night where if you're in the area, you show up at a certain time when he opens his doors, and that's actually a bucket list item for me. I'd love to, if I'm ever in his vicinity one day, to sit down one night and get the creative juices flowing and attend one of these art nights, and it's just open to anyone. He's also a techno DJ, so he'll be there spinning tracks on vinyl, and everyone's just vibe and have a good time. Yeah. Get amongst all that legal cannabis and vibe out.
Something you want to get to one day?
100%, bro.
It's a bucket list thing. Okay, products. So, new cookbook out. I don't know much about this guy. His name's Jack Rowbottom. He's a digital creator. He has a barbecue school. He's in the UK somewhere. He does a lot of live fire cooking and demonstrations. But what caught my eye was just some of the dishes that he had in his cookbook. I thought they were quite different. And one's a steak nachos there. The other one is some salmon with smashed potatoes. I just thought it was a little bit of a different vibe on cookbook.
Well, it's amazing how a good photo can change things, because initially seeing this, it's like, wow, how's the colours? Look at the spread. Then you break it down, it's just nachos. It's good-looking nachos, but the way he's presented it, it's fucking phenomenal.
What made me really like it is this is achievable barbecue for anybody.
100%.
This looks fantastic, but if you break it down, a lot of that stuff is quite simple.
Yeah, I mean, crispy skin salmon, that's a good-looking burger. I wouldn't personally have the feta on it myself, but yeah.
He had this picture of a burger, and I'm not a beetroot fan, but this is lamb. This is a lamb burger with beetroot and feta.
You can beat an egg, but you can't beat a root.
Oh, dear. I was worried there that you were going to hope that I finished that, so I'm glad you did.
Dad's
not me.
jokes.
Dad jokes. I do like the look of the burger, though.
I do.
Look, if it was one layer, I'd probably smash it. But obviously it's for the Insta, it's for the gram, it's for the clicks.
It's the age-old argument. Bigger burgers should be wider, not taller.
Yeah, I don't know.
You've got to dislocate your jaw to eat that fucking thing.
I don't know why we keep doing that. But what I will say is I love his colours, and it looks like approachable barbecue. So if you get a chance, grab his cookbook.
It's because of the format, mate. Instagram's made us post everything in portrait mode now.
So the burgers have got to be taller, not wider. All right, bucket list. So this is something that we've put on our bucket list that we want to get to, and this is one you've sent me, right?
This is Heritage Barbecue down there in San Juan, California. I've got a mate where I live in Tuncurry, and his wife is from San Diego. And her brother visits all the time. And I was like, mate, how far are you from San Juan? He's like, oh, bro, he's a firefighter. He's like, mate, it's in my district. I'm like, oh, can you please go here and tell me how good it is? And yeah, I'm waiting to hear back the feedback. But I discovered these guys just randomly through my feed. I think it was their merch that caught my eye. They do these beautiful big corduroy hats with the gold rope around it and that sort of thing. And I'm a sucker for merch, man. Like, I can't have too many hats or T-shirts. But then I discovered that their food and their approach to barbecue was even more desirable than their wearable goods.
Well, there's a reason why you said it stood out for you, and that's because I think Daniel Vaughan, who is the god of Texas barbecue, he's the Texas Monthly guy that rates all the barbecue. He rated it top 10 barbecue places in America.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool, hey?
That's super cool.
So these guys are at the top of their game, and it's someone has said this, I don't know if it's true or not, but they're saying now that the capital of barbecue outside of Texas is California.
Well, yeah, there'd be massive Mexican influence, obviously, but let's hope it's not just because whatever happens in California is hip.
Well, there's obviously some Mexican reference because this is a couple more photos from their menu.
So good.
I love it. I love it. Okay. I'm hungry after looking at all that food, and you've got a bit of a treat for us today.
I have,
You've
mate.
got some pies for us. So let's go through. They're called Full Throttle Pies. They're out of Newcastle in Australia. Tell us some more.
A good friend of the show, Mick Tyrrell, he opened up a barbecue joint a few years back now in 2019, and he accidentally became basically a pie king. He started doing pies as a bit of a special, and these things just kept selling out to the point now where he does about 10,000 pies a week, and they still always sell out. And he's also got guys selling them off-site.
Sorry. 10,000 pies a week?
10,000 pies a week on a slow week.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, keep going.
Yeah. And they are banging too. So the three main pies he rocks, he's got the brisket and gravy, brisket cheese and gravy, and the ones we're rocking today, the brisket jalapeno cheese and gravy pies. And this is a bit of a process of them making it. There's just a lazy 840 pies in those trays there, and everything's just, you know, if you know Mick, he's a perfectionist. If it's not 100%, he doesn't fuck with it. So a couple of years ago, I had a meeting with Mick, and he was trying to outsource getting his pies done by a local bakery. And he said, make sure you're hungry. We're going to try these pies. So I show up. There's a whole big bread tray of pies. So Mick supplied the filling of the pies to this bakery, and he said, you just bake them and I'll see if they're good enough. So this tray comes in, I'm starving. Mick takes one look, and he didn't look too pleased. He took a bite, and just as I've gone to take a pie, he's just grabbed the whole tray and put them in the bin and went, nah, that doesn't fucking cut it. And he didn't want my first taste of his Full Throttle pies to be an outsourced version. So that's the type of discipline he has with his quality control.
Wow. So he did the filling but outsourced the pastry component?
Yes. So he couldn't get anyone to do his pie filling any justice. So now he's built himself a pie factory at the barbecue joint.
Is this a butter spray gun?
It is a butter spray gun.
I need one of them in my life.
He's
it's like spritzing but with butter in a spray gun. That's amazing.
Yeah, I hope we're not giving too many secrets away here, but they are.
Okay, so you've got a box of these.
Got a box. I didn't make them. That wasn't me at all. So I've done fuck all. All I've done is bought the pies, defrosted them, and thrown them in the Traeger.
So you've bought them frozen, thrown them in the Traeger, which is our go-to barbecue here at the studio. You put them in for how long?
I threw those in for about 20 minutes. They were thawed. So, and quite often what I do too with my pies is, this might blow some people's minds, but I will spritz my pastry if the pie is drying out too much. I use my spritz gun in my oven at home. Like if I'm cooking bread and I don't want my bread too crispy, I'll actually spritz it to essentially give it a bit of a steam.
So not just barbecue, you're spritzing everything.
Oh, I don't spritz my kids when they've been naughty, if
No,
that's
but
what you
food
mean.
related.
Yeah.
What about if you're getting a bit too brown on the top of the lasagna? Would you spritz it?
No, I like my lasagna crunchy as a door handle, bro.
All right, well, let's try one of these things. I've got to admit, I've had one before. They're damn good.
They are. And we're going to probably wreck it with our slicing.
All right, well, let's bring it in.
All right. Sorry, Boomer. I'm not using scissors.
No scissors. So we know the scissors trick, but we're going to skip it.
Yeah, let's try and do two at once.
Now, is this going to burn the shit out of my mouth?
Probably, but it will be worth it.
All right, let's have a go here. So brisket pies. So for those playing at home, a meat pie is what?
Usually just beef mince and gravy.
Yeah.
I think there's a ratio, don't quote me on it, but you have to have a certain amount of meat to gravy for it to be a qualifiable pie, because pie baking competitions are huge in Australia. Every bakery has got all their gold medals up on the wall.
I feel like America really needs to get onto this pie thing. Meat, gravy, wrapped in pastry. You can pick it up, hold it, eat it. It's got jalapenos in it, cheese in it.
Well, it's a drive-by meal. You don't need cutlery. You
All
just hook in.
Let's have a crack.
Cheers.
Yep. Yep.
All the good things.
It's phenomenal.
And Mick would have spent a lot of time getting this balance right.
It's got a little bit of heat to it. It's good though.
It's hot, but I need more.
Yeah. Well, I am a fan. So, this brings us to the end of the show. It's the encore.
What do you got for me?
Let's find out.
Do it. I want to finish that pie. Yes, this is me. I'm a hot dog fan. I do love a good glizzy. And this is the emotional support dog. This is
like
something that would get me out of a bad mood, I reckon.
Yes, I do like those cheesy, overly cheesy memes that kind of do bring a smile to your face. And this is one of those ones, hey? They're cheap humour and it does the job.
Well, this is going to wreck a few guys' day, though, because traditionally you should not put ketchup on a hot dog. It's mustard only.
Oh, can't take that on an aeroplane.
No.
All right. Thanks for the episode.
Let's go, mate. Let's finish these pies.
All right. Got the logo right and everything.